Good evening. I'm Pastor Alex coming to you from Trinity Lutheran Church. I'm glad that you were able to join us for story time this evening. During the summer, we have been doing random stories from the Bible, and earlier this week, I was reading about Samuel. I don't know if many of you know about Samuel, but he was one of the prophets in the Old Testament. Remember, the Old Testament was a book that was written before Jesus came to earth. So it tells us about all the rulers of early Israel and the prophets that came to share God's news before Jesus. So Samuel is one of those people. So this evening, I want to share with you the story of Samuel hearing God calling him. And I'm going to be reading from the World Story, Kids Story Bible. So let us begin. God calls Samuel. When Samuel was a boy, he lived in the temple with a priest named Eli. Eli couldn't see, so sometimes he needed someone to help him day and night. So now, do you all remember what a temple is? A temple is a place of worship. So a temple would be where the priest, or like Eli, would be living, and Samuel was in the temple with him. So Samuel's mother, Hannah, gave him over to the church because she was having trouble getting pregnant. And she said, the firstborn child of mine, I will give to the church, that he will serve God in greater ways and spread God's good news. So Samuel ended up with Eli in the temple. So one night, while Samuel was lying down, someone called his name, Samuel. He ran to Eli's room. Here I am, Samuel shouted. Eli jumped from his sleep. Samuel, I didn't call you. Lie down again. Samuel shuffled back to bed. Samuel, he heard again. Samuel rushed to Eli for a second time. Here I am, he said. But Eli sent him away once more. If Eli isn't calling me, who is it? Samuel wondered. Probably if you were by now thinking that you were hearing your name at night, you might be wondering what it was, or you think that you're hearing things. But no way, that's what Samuel was beginning to wonder. Was he just hearing things? Because it wasn't Eli that was calling him. Maybe there's other things that you hear when you go to bed at night. Maybe you hear the wind outside your windows. Maybe the trees rustling. Every once in a while, maybe you hear a branch or something if you have a tree close to your window. But Samuel was sure that he heard something. So he heard the voice a third time. Samuel, Samuel. Again, Samuel hurried to Eli's room. I didn't call you, Eli said, rubbing his tired eyes. Samuel stomped his feet. Someone is calling me. Eli realized it was the Lord. He told Samuel, next time, say, speak. Lord, I am listening. A fourth time, Samuel heard his name. Samuel! This time, he whispered, speak, Lord, I'm listening. The Lord said, Samuel, I'm calling you. You will bring messages to my people. I will tell you what to say. As Samuel grew, God gave him many messages to tell many people. I want to share the pictures with you in our first page. So there's Samuel up here sitting on a bed knowing that he heard something. And then going to Eli, and Eli's like, wasn't me. And he even seems a little angry that Eli woke him up. And Eli's still hearing something, hearing his name called. And there, Samuel is sharing. Actually, he's right up there telling all the great things that will happen and the many messages that he's going to tell people. So Eli heard God calling in him, talking to him. Maybe there's times that you hear maybe just some messages that aren't coming to your parents, but in a way, sometimes it's our inner conscious that we know in our hearts what's right and wrong. In a way, maybe that is God speaking to us, telling us what is right and wrong. But hearing God calling us can be a marvelous thing, and it can also be scary. I know when I heard the call to become a pastor, I was like, I don't think so. I don't think that's really what you're calling me to do. But it was kind of that nagging sense that I always got, that hearing that, yeah, this is what you're called to do. And so now I get to share these story times with you, and to lead this wonderful congregation at Trinity. So as you go about your evening, I pray that you are safe and that you are enjoying time with your family. And before we leave this evening, can we put our hands together and bow our heads and do a repeat after me prayer? Dear God, thank you for speaking to us, for giving us ears to listen, and for you bringing your presence to us so that we can share the good news of Jesus with everyone. Amen. Have a good evening, and we will see you next week.